Hi guys, welcome to AnimeInkArt Live Talks. I'm your host Swizzy. Let's get everybody in here. Let's get started. I hope you guys had a good start to your week. Well, weekend. Today's Friday, so all right, let's get it started. Hello, everybody joining me for AnimeInkArt Live Talks. I'm your host Lizzie. On our show, we talk to different creators in the community about their journey in content creation. And today we have a special guest, KingSizetheVet, amazing rapper, amazing lyricist. So definitely going to be a good show tonight. Hope you guys are having a good start to your weekend. So let's get them on the show and let's get it started. All right, so I'm going to accept the request. All right, fine. But any questions in the meantime, let me know, okay? Hey, there we go.
Hey, I'm doing
How
all
are
right.
you?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain. How was your Friday?
It wasn't bad. I had to work.
We both had to work, so you know.
Yeah. You got to make that bread now, right?
Yeah, that's true. Especially in this
Shoot.
economy, you know.
So you happy you got a job now? Is it?
That's very true. Yeah, and I just wanted to say thanks for reaching out, and I'm so happy to have you a part of the show. I really
No, I
appreciate it.
appreciate it too. Like, it's we need like for the blurs, we need like I guess you could say like a safe ground. You know what I mean? Everything's so toxic. Everything's so toxic now, like in the podcast and stuff like that. So appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And for the people that may not know who you are, introduce yourself.
I'm King Size the Vet, producer, DJ, MC, lyricist, a super nerdy dude, but at the same time, I'm strong enough to protect myself. So I'm a little dude, but I'm a big dude. So
And I wanted to ask something that's amazing is that you do different things when it comes to music, producing, you make beats, you have your own music as well. And a lot of them you mix you mix the music, you make the videos when you do the videos. So you're doing a lot of things. And one of the interviews that I saw that you did, you've been doing music since about between like the ages of 18 to 22. So I wanted to ask what inspired you? Like, what was that push to start music and to really like get yourself out there in
I
it?
mean, my dad was a DJ when I was younger, so I was always wanting to do what he did. My brother had his own he had his own record store, and he was a producer. He made beats and stuff like that. Him and my cousin, they kind of inspired me. To get into the rapping, I really just want the DJ, but my friend, and he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey too. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
His name was Illy. He's from Newark, New Jersey. So he kind of
Oh, we're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
very
So
close.
he moved into my hood. I was already hip hop head, but he kind of got me more, more into it. I would make beats. I would make beats and DJ for him, but we would always be in high school, and he would be battling like 1,000 people, and I didn't know how to battle or freestyle, so I just jumped in the cipher acting like an idiot one day, and then even though it was terrible, people were like, "Oh, he's got somebody else." So then I just went home and just started practicing. I sucked at freestyling because I had a short attention span. But then I just started thinking about, because I love Marvel and video games and all that. So then I just started envisioning. I started envisioning that when I started rapping freestyling, and I just started getting good with it. And people was like, "Why is he rapping about all this stuff?" But it worked because nobody was freestyling like that back then. So that's kind of what got me in the door. But yeah,
That's awesome. And how was it growing up being a blurred and loving things you love? And what's interesting for me is because like I know like nerdcore, like hip hop was around kind of in the 2000s, but then like later 2000s it started getting more like known. But even like for your music, because you've been doing this for a long time, like like almost 2 decades now, and you were putting that in your music way before I think now like a lot of the nerdcore rappers that you see now are getting into it. So I would say how was it for you? Because your journey was different. Like you're in the industry kind of already and you were doing these things. Like what was the reaction to your style, and how do you feel now that there's other people like you that you can be like, okay, like I kind of like was in the trenches in
Yeah.
order for people to really, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, well, you picture somebody that's like back then, my wife, she been my ride or die since we've been like kids. So whatever I like to do, she didn't know what it was. She just rode with me. A whole
yeah,
bunch of dudes in the car smoking weed, not me. Listening to Wu Tang Clan high. She in a hoopty just sitting there like she's like, why am I here? I love this dude. So then she goes to my house. She's like, okay, he's 18, 17. Why does he want to buy these Marvel comic figures? Why is he reading comic books? He should be like trying to get a
yeah,
job. Why is he like she pretty much bought me everything. She bought me Marvel comics. Mind you, she a grown woman who could be going to college right now. She bought me Sega
yeah,
Genesis games, Street Fighter, all figures and everything. And everybody supported me. They didn't get it. They just thought I was weird. They didn't think I was weird. They just knew it was being me. Everybody else thought I was weird, but
yeah,
yeah, it just worked out, and it just yeah. I mean, and then I've been doing that since I started, like since I was like 17 or 18. So that's like 30 years ago. And then when I actually I got my first on my first record label, which was God Squad. I got it into it, and they were like, oh yeah, I met this guy named the greatest guy in the world. He's like a brother from another. His name is Mega Ran, and
yeah,
he put a random dude on named King Size and King Size's son, King
yeah,
Size's son DJ Tayukin, and Mega Ran was rapping about video games, and I was like, this is my favorite rapper ever. Nobody can ever beat him. He's the greatest rapper ever. Him and Richie Branson, they're the greatest because they rap about stuff I like to rap about, and he went hard. Him and K Murdoch, they made an album called Forever Famicom, and I was hooked after that. But then when I started rapping, they were like, okay, well this is nerdcore. Well, it was half and half because certain people that were nerdcore was saying I wasn't nerdcore,
yeah,
which I was fine, and I was
yeah,
conflicted because I was like, I'm just doing me, but they
yeah,
kind of started on a gatekeeping level where you're trying to do it, we're trying to do what we do, but I'm like, you're rapping and you don't look like you were rapping 2 years ago, so but you're taking something that I technically was doing, and now you're saying I
yeah,
can't do it because I'm rapping a certain way. So I kind of got I won the nerdcore people over, not all of them, because some are stuck in their ways. And then I got to the point I was like, I'm really not nerdcore because I've been doing this before. It's kind of like when people say boom bap, where before it was coined boom bap, it was just hip hop. It was
yeah,
underground hip hop, or they call it backpack rap. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So once I got that, Mega Ran put me on. I was on random beats, and then I learned like the indie thing. I kind of did my own thing, and I just kept going with it. And I met so many cool people, man. It's just appreciative. But I love the word blurred because that's what we are. That's what I am, and I can be myself. And
yeah,
NPC, I like that too. It's
yeah,
and I appreciate that. We need our own space because it's like something you create for somebody to take it and then recreate it and then say you can't be in it. It it's kind of hurtful. It's kind of like hateful, but it's good to have this. So yeah, I appreciate it.
I agree with that, and that's crazy that you say that, because the one thing about like your music, like you just like what you mix like your background in other parts of hip hop and loving nerd culture. It's kind of like you almost can't tell. It's like I feel like anybody, even if they don't like anime or whatever, they could listen to your music. I feel like like it's to the point where that is just part of your being. Like it just flows
Yeah.
to me personally. So I wanted to ask about the recent album, God's Ear. I wanted to ask what went into like the name of the album, and when it comes to working with Komplex, the producer, how did you guys meet, and how did you guys decide to create a project together? Because I will say I listened to the whole album, no skip, while on my walk, and it just everything just flowed the way it should. I was actually like, it was a breath of fresh air for me, especially when it comes to nerdcore because it was your faith, and you're talking about real things, but putting anime to it, it's just like it's just cohesive. So I just wanted to ask what led to the project and you collabing with
Oh,
them.
thank you. I really do appreciate that, and I'm glad when you get it and you understand that you get it. I appreciate that. Um, Me and Complex, he's like one of my brothers that's not from my blood, but he's like yeah, he's like my probably pretty much at this time my best friend. We talk all the time. Me being a DJ and me being that obscure nerd guy, I want to hear stuff that nobody else hears. So how like it's like my wife, she used to like wear like she used to rock a lot of Coach purses, right? And she got to the point she's like I don't want to wear Coach because everybody and their grandmother got it. You know what I mean? That's not how she said. I'm saying it my way. So then she started whacking.
Yeah.
She started wearing Michael Kors, and that's kind of how I am. I used to be the Timberland guy and all that. Then everybody started rocking Timbs. I'm like, oh no, I got to change it up. I don't want to look like it. I don't want to. I want to do something that not saying I want to be out there looking like a weird or nothing. Like, but who knows what weird is. But I wanted to do something different. But anyways, fast forward. I go through Bandcamp. I think Bandcamp is the realest. It's the most obscure. It's the most weirdest, grimiest, dopest stuff ever. And I was going through these different artists, and they're all my friends now. Heavy Hands, Mr. FP, Nick Fury, they're all my friends. Now, anyways, I saw Komplex on there, and he was like, "Yo, we need to do a song together." I said, "Okay, give me the beat." We did the first beat. First song was Waste Management, and he was like, "Yo, his faith was getting stronger." He's like, "Man," he's like, "I think we should do something for God." And I was like, "Okay." So then I had to finish my album with Mr. FP. I got that done, but he was sending me random songs, and it was different for me because I'm so used to just give me the beat, I rap, destroy it fast. That's it. It's done. Chop heads off. That's it. It's king size. You're dead, right? So then it was like, so then God was like, told me like, bro, if you gonna make an album for me, then you better represent me. Calm down, chill out, so everybody else can understand your story. Tell a story. You can uplift me, but still tell your story. So that's why I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna sit on these beats, and then some stuff I would like freestyle some of it and then punch it in. Some stuff I wrote and punched it in. But I said, how can I tell a story about my life and who I am if you met me and never knew me? If you met me and never knew me, you can hear my music and know who I was. So that's why I'm like, okay, I wanna touch people who who have faith in God, but also I want to touch people like you said. I'm a guy that likes to bridge the gap. So that's why I kind of did the album like that. So you can bridge the gap so everybody can appreciate it. And like most people know my music, I'm super like heavy, hardcore, fast. That's why when some people hear it now, they're like, "Oh man, it's kind of chill." I'm like, "Yeah, it's chill, but you once you listen to it a couple times and you get it, you'll appreciate it. You can't turn it on and get ready to have me go like Rocky Balboa on everybody. It's more, it's not, it's young, but it's grown. It's bridging the gap. So, but that's how we got it together. It's a nice album. It's probably one of my favorite albums. But yeah,
Yeah, I have to say, like you won me over with that. I was like, okay, okay, you got. So definitely, yeah, definitely give you kudos for that, and all the rest of the music I heard. And what's interesting, I could hear like your battle rap background just in some of them. We were just like, okay, just go, because that's how you have to be when you're in the underground like that. And I wanted to ask, like, how was that experience during your time like doing battle rap? And how did that like help you as an artist? Because I know I was hearing from certain things when I was looking at it that it was kind of like it kind of made you have that work ethic to be like anything that you put out, it has to be like to your standard or just not subpar because you're like some of the people that you've battle rapped in the past just really like gave you pause. I just wanted to give you that chance to like explain to people like what you learned during that time.
yeah, because I feel like, especially nowadays, because there's so many rappers, it's a formula, and they're not doing it because they're not doing it because how can I say it? They're not understanding it's a science to it. It's also too, but it's still a science to what you're doing. But a lot of people are just like cookie cutter, microwaves. Me battling was like my only way to win because I had to struggle because when I came out like back then, even when I wasn't even out, you gotta think about who was out there. It was Wu Tang, Ice T, Ice Cube. Everybody had their own. I don't want to call it their gimmick. They had their own style. NWA, going further to Wu Tang Clan, Talib, Mos Def, going other company Flow, Redman, all these cats Buster Rhymes, before the commercial stuff. These do every person have you have to have bars like every line had to mean something. When you got in a cipher, you can't come in there and 1, 2, 3, here I come. But you had to have you had to say everything you had to if you have to say something that had to stand out. You know what I mean? And me being like my dad, I can't cuss, man, but my dad, he used to call me the short, you know, he called me SHIT. He always called me the runt, the little short. You know what I mean? Because I look like him with stunted growth. You know what I mean? So I'm 5'2", you know what I mean? But I didn't want to have like the T.I. effect where I'm mad at everybody because I'm short. I wanted people to already come at me. Yeah, you're gonna be the fat guy. We're gonna call him fat. I'm like, I already knew that was gonna happen. You're fat, and I just let them talk, and that's when I just destroy them with something further. I had to have that element of I'm gonna just not, in real life, I'm gonna kill you or kill them like every time I have to because the situation I'm in, like I said, I don't cuss. You know what I mean? I'm already a person. I'm a Christian, so that's already like they're already ready to gun on you and clown you. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna be that punk. You know what I mean? Whether I'm so and like you gotta have some kind of strength, to fight and stand up for yourself. So I already knew if a battle was a battle, and you had to be on point. And I would go to the different battles. Like they had one called the Blaze Battle, and I met this guy. I met this guy in an idea, and he was so ill, man. He was ill, and this guy named Prime. This guy named Prime. He's now like an alderman in Chicago now, but he was dope too. Yeah, and yeah, learning lessons like that where you got to come equipped, man. It's just when I get on the mic, I get on the mic, it's like it's no slack on every word, everything I say. I have to have something that's gonna hit. Where if one person doesn't get it, the other person's gonna get it. So that's just my work ethic,
Mm.
man.
Yeah, I definitely understand it. Like that, like that, like for what I've seen, like when I get to see it, it's not for the weak of heart. Like, you can't just go out there
Mm-mm,
just doing
mm-mm.
anything. Like
And it's hard for me now. That's why I won't get into any battles now because it's all written battles, and I have a short attention span, and it's like it's just not in a weird way, but me like actually sitting down for like 2 or 3 hours or like 2 to 4 days thinking about one person, trying to find as much dirt and evil on like one person. Just to say that, it's like it's too much energy for me. I'm used to off the head. You freestyle. Look at his pants. Look at his clothes. You look around, and it's spontaneous. When you premeditate it, it's good for everybody else, but it's not my game. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I definitely get that. And actually, I wanted to talk about that because for people that may just do like strictly Christian rap, I feel like it's very hard to navigate the industry sometimes. You have to have a certain level of like, discipline or just like a mindful eye, especially like when you go into the industry because it's not the cleanest sometimes. And I wanted to ask, what are some things you experienced to where like you're able to be like, okay, no matter what, like I'll keep my faith because like it's still very strong, and for you to be in the industry for so long, that's a rarity because sometimes it beats people down. So I want to ask like, what helps you stay grounded in your faith in the midst of everything that goes on? Because I'm sure you've seen crazy stuff and encountered crazy stuff because 30 years is a long time.
yeah. Um, I just kind of I just gotta accept who I am and accept who God made me to be because I'm in two different situations where I'm in the middle of two different situations. To the young to older people, I'm still young. To younger people, I'm a dinosaur. You know what I mean? So 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 to so to people that aren't Christians, I'm how do you say it? I'm not annoying, but I'm just kind of, it's, unless they talk to me personally, it's kind of, they feel, they're uncomfortable with me because I'm talking about God. And then a lot of Christian rappers are uncomfortable because I'm too edgy. I'm too coming at the devil. I'm too, so it's a lot of Christian artists they won't, I'll DM them and say, hey, let's do a song. And they'll shrug me. There's a lot of cats, yeah, there's a lot of cats that I don't either, they think it'll mess up it'll tarnish their I don't know, their image, or that's not something they wouldn't want, they don't want their other people that listen to follow them say, oh, he's with this dude. But they're not really listening to my music and understanding. You know what I mean? And it all goes back to biblical. I mean, like when he chopped Goliath's head off, he chopped his head off. He didn't, oh, let me just kiss you, man. Please don't, please don't hurt me. My God, oh Lord. No. He chopped his head off. He walked around with it, and then he took his weapons and walked around. That's the illest thing you could do. And God gave him the power and told him to do it. So, you know what I mean? They're talking about taking demons and having them burn in hell. Like the God, you know what I mean, depending on what your beliefs or whatever, he's a nice dude. He's ruthless though. That first, for real. The first book, if Jesus didn't come, we'd all be dead. Like he was ruthless, man. He'd burn stuff, then bring it back together, then burn it again. Like it wasn't, oh please, don't, guys, please be nice. You know what I mean? And it's like I think, it's like no disrespect to a lot of gospel rappers, because I appreciate a lot of them because I know they're touching different bases. But to me, I get uncomfortable when it gets to the point where I hear a drill song or a trap song, and it's so close to a drill song that I don't even notice a Christian song until they say like God once. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying some of them is not really them. They're mimicking the image to kind of keep themselves feeling good from the old way they were, and to still be accepted to the way they are now. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I could imagine that's really a tough spot because I know for certain like and on both sides it's like there's an expectation because they think that you should fit in a box. But I mean, to be honest, like most of your music, like you don't cuss, you talk about positive topics. I get it. Like I know people want us to be like a box, but the thing is, it's like you're still within that space. It's not like you're talking about like like anything negative. So I can understand it. It's different.
Yeah. And like I said, once you get to a certain age or just a certain time, when you get used to yourself, you don't care no more. Like I'm like I look
Yeah.
like a little kid and I sound like one, but I'm old. So I'm just an old grumpy old man that just wake up in the morning and just beat me. Get off get off my grass. Oh no, I'm gonna, I'm that dude where everybody's like, I'm the nicest. I'm nice. Okay, you be nice. I just want to wake up, just do my music and go home. I just want to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Get my black
Yeah.
coffee and go on with my life. Everybody else, they're still in that life where they gotta live life and try to do whatever they can do to like make themselves feel better, or what's the word, exist, or like
Yeah.
find some kind of reason for being. Like I got to that point where I know my purpose now, so now I can just
Mhm.
try to do stuff that I like and help other people. But it was a journey though, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, what they're going through now, I went through already. That's why I put the vet on the end of my name, veteran, because it's like I'm a veteran of life. A veteran of life. I understand. Been through a lot of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. And for the project that you have out, I wanted to know like what made you title it God's.
That's it. That was Complex's idea. That was his idea.
Mm.
And God's ear is so much, it has so much meaning, where it's like you're listening to what God is saying, and then God is listening to you, but also at the same time, you have to have an ear, you know what I mean, for listening to what everybody else is saying and understanding what everybody else is saying. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
just like, and I said, hey, I like God's ear, but let's don't make it two words. Let's make it one, and put the big Z in the middle for Zion, you know, like you know, for like the lion, you know what I mean? The Lamb of God,
Yeah.
the roaring lion, the
Yeah.
lion of Judah. So yeah, that's what the big Z is for. So yeah, man, it's it's really deep, but it's also fun at the same time. And I like how you explained it, where if people can still enjoy it without it being overly preachy and all that type stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, cause at least for me, like yes, I do follow Christianity, but even in that, like I like anime topic, but I don't like music
mhm.
in general. So I've started listening to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And for me, what got me was so I guess like the way everything sticks and the translating into it. It's almost like I forgot that the next song was but like that's how I put it. I forgot. I just know that the next song. It just felt like it was all things. Like it was telling the story. So for people that may not know, like you're experiencing making beats and like DJ, I just feel like the way that you mix your stuff that takes time. Like it's hard to make beats like especially for it
Yeah.
to flow like that. You have to have a lot of experience. So for those of you that don't know how much experience you have, like DJing and doing beats, you can let
Yeah, Komplex made all the beats. He made all the beats from scratch, MPC. I think he got a couple off his iPad, and he would make the beat from his interpretation. Then I would like retweak the beat to real quick before I want to show you how nerdy stuff is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, oh,
Look,
that's great.
freaking nuts, right? Talk about being a nerd. Like I would have took y'all to Warhammer if it was open. I'm sorry. Yeah. Look at all this. Look at this. This is crazy.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Well, that's a nice place there.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so Complex, he made all the beats. And then, like I said, I tweaked them because some of them were like a lot slower than that. But I was like, dude, like, I had to type speed them up. But yeah, he's phenomenal. He makes beats from the heart. Like I write rhymes. That's how he makes beats. And it's freaking it's beautiful, man. That's all like, dude, your beats are beautiful, man. And it like I said, the song is the music itself tells a story. And like, yeah, and like me being a DJ and like kind of being a storyteller, I always make songs like I would want to hear. You know what I mean? Like Master Ace made an album where it was about him. He made an album where he had two concept albums that I like. He made one where he went to California, or his brother from California, his cousin from California came and wanted to teach him how to like drive lowriders and being from the West Coast. So he made like a New York person perspective from the West Coast. And then he made like another album about him leaving, going to college, being a football player or something. But like, I just like stuff like that, man. And look at all this.
Oh, that's nice. And I actually wanted to go back to anime for a second because you do have an album in 2021 where it was centered just all around anime. And I wanted to ask like I know that in like most of your work you do touch upon it, but I guess like that album was really like you saying like, okay, I need people to realize like I'm really an anime fan. So what was the thought process going into making that project?
That was like that's probably the most man, that's dear to my heart because I had a stroke and I didn't even think, yeah, I had a stroke. I was paralyzed. I didn't even think I can even rap again. So I was like, man, I at least want to try to make one more album. Like half my mouth, I couldn't move it. Had to learn how to speak again. It was miraculous. It was miraculous. They said I was supposed to not even be able to walk maybe from like 2 months to like 6 months to like a year. And I started moving around in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But yeah, that album, it was like uh if you listen to the whole first song, I'm talking about just my whole life story of how anime like it makes sense where it's like my life's like anime is you know what I mean? It's like where I was talking about how like I've been doing this, before Crunchyroll came out and before everybody's cosplay because it just felt like a lot of people I a lot of people feel like they're just doing it because they need an identity. You know what I'm saying? Some people some people gravitate to stuff and they just use it for their own what do you call it? Their own I mean, for their own clout. Some people really, really love it, but it's like I had to just let it be known. And then I was talking about the part where I feel like I need subtitles. You know what I mean? Like because
Yeah.
like I'm saying something, you still don't get it. Like I'm really, like people don't understand me. So it's like I need subtitles. And it's like your best friends turn into your rivals, where it's like people you hung up with all your life and they turn on you. It can be friends or family or whatever. So yeah, that whole album I just got done from learning how to talk again. So that's why it sounds like I'm struggling, but I love it because I still pulled it off. And yeah, and then my guy, shout out to Aramis 616 from Grand Rapids. He came through, and freaking Grayson, y'all. If y'all don't know who Grayson is,
Oh,
that yo,
that's
that's my
about
man. And when I say this with all my heart, man, that is my
yeah.
clutch. That's my little
Mm.
brother. He has never said no to nothing. He got on one of my albums and he was sick as a dog, and got on it and still rocked it. But me and him, we did Winter Soldier for that album, but he had already did another song with a guy called Winter Soldier. But it was like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but he's still
Yeah.
in the clutch, man. And it's just it's awesome to have people like that in your life, man. They just we don't talk that much, but when we talk, he's there no matter what. And it's just I appreciate him so much. He's so awesome, man.
Yeah, that's one of my other favorite people, but especially the one that's in the nerdcore space. Like shout outs to him. I always see him at least past 2 years at BlurCon.
Yeah.
He goes to BlurCon.
I'm gonna be like, dear rapper.
Yeah.
He be trying.
But, but, but he's
He's
speaking facts though.
Hey, you can see his voice where he want to flip out and crash out, but he's so calm. He's so calm and political about it. He don't want to say, "Don't be a douchebag." He's like, "You should watch the way you say things to people when you're doing a song with them. You know, give me my money. Don't do a song and don't give me my money." He's so nice about it, but he he's from Pennsylvania, so yeah, he's a quiet crash out. I know he is, for real.
That's and I want to ask, what has been the impact that you felt that people that either support you or didn't expect them to support you has given you in like your journey through doing music and everything like that?
Man, I gotta say, it get, it makes it feels good to just know there's other people that think like you. You know what I mean? It gives you that vote of confidence. Like you don't have to say, "Oh, you're great, you're dope." If they just get it, that makes me feel good. That motivates me. Like I don't know. It's just I just like making this music, and I like people that understand me, because it's like how it is. You go to work, you
Yeah.
go to work, you gotta be in a different zone. You gotta be in a different what they call it, code switching. If you're a parent, you got a code switch. Depending on who it is, if you have a loved one, if your significant other, you got to be in a different mode for them. You can't be yourself. You can, but then sometimes it can be a toxic environment. But when you get in the booth, or if you're drawing or art or whatever it is, you can totally be yourself and you're free, and it's the best feeling. So everybody that's came on, that got on the journey with me, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just a life experience, because it's like me being older, I'm dealing with a lot of younger people, and of course, my text stuff is terrible, because I say jokes that I say stuff that offends people, but
Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic, but then they'll take it like I'm disrespecting them, and then they'll say
Yeah.
something that they're not being disrespectful, because I'm old. I'm thinking they being disrespectful. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to I'm not trying to be young, but I'm still trying to work with the young people. Like my what do they call it, my text etiquette, or my social media. It's not good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get there though.
And that's what I want to ask you because you did bring it. Because for those that may not know, I messaged him personally saying that I appreciate the music and that we're going to talk about everything. And you did mention how you try, like, through your music, try to bridge the gap between the older generation, like for us millennials and probably a little bit older than that. And then for those that are in the younger generations, I would say, what has been the response since that's like been your method? Like, have you felt like you bridged that gap? Have the responses been positive? Like, what has the reaction been to the music on both sides of the
I mean,
spectrum?
for the most part, it's been good. It's a double-edged sword though, because my style is just straight. I'm talking to you and it rhymes. You know what I mean? Sometimes what I mean? And sometimes I can flip it up and do like different styles, like triplets and rap slow. I can't sing. I'm terrible. I tried it once. I pulled it off. I pulled it off a little bit, but yeah, a lot of the younger. I don't even think it's the younger ones. I think it's a lot of them who are so conditioned to just listen to a type of music. They don't think you're making music because it's not music what they're accustomed to. You know what I mean? Like I hear a lot of the guys they'll say, "Oh man, you old school." You know what I mean? But then in my heart, I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. But then they haven't heard anybody like Static Selector who's still making music. You know what I mean? Nas is still making music, and they haven't heard like MF Doom, who was making that type of music in the 2000s. But if you're not singing like with the auto tunes on the song, and you're not screaming and crying, you know, like I don't understand how you a killer, but you're crying that you're gonna kill me. I'm gonna shoot you. You're gonna die today. I'm like, you should be like, how am I gonna be scared of you? Do I want to hug you or do I want to run? You know what I mean? It's just like, so it's like, like they're like, yeah, man, you old. Like, I'm like, I'm not singing. I'm not, whatever. The beats, my beats are just like, more. I guess you could say New York orientated, but or East Coast, I say, excuse me, East Coast, because I know how they go. You wouldn't just, the OS, you wouldn't just made New York. We've been doing this. Shoot. So, I gotta be careful. But yeah, so it's just, so that the younger ones, if they're cussing or something else, and I accept it. Let me just be the uncle then. Let me just be the uncle that rap. You still like it. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? And that's why I love putting my little comic book representation, because that stuff that's immortal. That crap, everybody knows Spider Man. He was out in the '60s. He gonna be out in like 3000. So you can't say you can't relate to that. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. And also something else I want to touch upon was like your inspiration. So anime wise and then music wise for your music, because just for what I've listened to, so with the anime, I've heard a lot of different ones. Some of them are like probably older generation, slightly newer generation, like Dragon Ball Z, like the Gundam Wing series, like Yu Yu Hakusho, and a few other series. Some of them are a little bit more recent, some of them are a little older. And then when it comes to the music side, like the some of the first impressions I got was like Wu-Tang Clan, MF Doom, Tribe Called Quest. I'm showing my age, not showing my age because
No, keep it coming. I love it. I love it. That's fine.
but I wanted to ask what are your inspirations on both sides that combine your music? I feel like there's so many influences just from what I'm saying. I'm just guessing, but I just want to know what your actual like anime inspirations and like music
There,
inspiration.
most definitely the Shaolin style. I like all kind of music if you know what I mean. But to get me going, most definitely it is Wu Tang. Now that I'm older, I am feeling MF Doom. Um, but yeah, Wu Tang was the one. Wu Tang, Delta Funky Homo Sapien, and Souls of Mischief, their first album. That was it. I was done. I was done. Old school LL Cool J was the guy. I liked his I liked his tenaciousness, or his tenacity. See how you can make new words up? That's the new one, y'all. Tenaciousness. Y'all gotta use it now. Um, obviously Dragon Ball, man. And I got a short attention span, so sometimes Dragon Ball is cool, and then sometimes it's not, because I mean the fight scenes are always cool, but the fight scenes it'd be like 8 hours. You know what I mean? Before they even fight, he charging up. I'm like, is he constipated? Oh, oh, oh. It's like next week. He's like, oh, oh. And he charging up again. Then they finally fight. You know what I mean? I love it though. They did knock through the rocks and all that type stuff. And then yeah. But yeah, like me when we were growing up, it wasn't they were just called cartoons. They weren't even called anime. Like when Gatchaman, well, in the States it was called G-Force, and that was actually anime, but it was G-Force that came out, or the Battle of the Planets. Voltron was technically anime, but it was just called a cartoon. Transformers, all the stuff I grew up on. So when they started making things similar to that, that's what I really got involved in. And Dragon Ball and Street Fighter are so like similar. So I really love that stuff, man. It's inspiration, man. And it's like I feel like with anime, sometimes anime and comic books are realer than real life because it's so many fake people and you don't know what is now. You know what I mean? You got people on the internet, they dating bots and they thinking they dating a woman. You know what I mean? AI voices and everything. Did you see her yet? Yeah, this is her picture right here. Well, did you see her yet? Nope, but it's crazy, man. Crazy.
I wanted to ask because most of your music has like a either a learning lesson or positive message, whether it was like the anti-industry album you had, then the anime one you had, now God ear that you have. So I wanted to ask, like, for those that may not have tuned into your music, what are some of like the messages that you want people to, or lessons that you want people to have when listening to your music? Because I know that's like kind of like your purpose for
Oh,
doing.
just balance that life, man. But like, don't just accept the way it is. You know what I mean? Accept what the way it is, but still, accept the way it is. But then know that you can control what happens. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you gotta be nerdy. You can be nerdy and be a geek, but you still gotta be able to learn how to fight. Even if you don't win the fight, you gotta be able to protect yourself. You know what I mean? You always gotta have a positive vibe, even when stuff is negative, because two negatives ain't gonna work. Somebody, and there is a time when you gotta just whoop somebody, whether it's verbally or physically, you got to, because but that's when they're pushing your buttons, boy. You gotta just have a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I want to have in my music, where I don't want to overly, how they talk about the guy with the cadet hat. Yeah, son, the molecular structure of the destruction of the molecule, like, to me, I would like it, but then like after like 2 minutes, I'm gonna turn it off because it's like, are you preaching to them or are you trying to entertain? So you gotta have a balance. You know what I mean? So and that's what I try to do with my music. I try to like give you a little bit where I can get like high tech and scientifical, but then bring it down where it's still what do you say? It's still witty, but it's not too much. You know what I mean? That's what that's what Komplex told me. He's like king size. He's like, you rapping too fast, too fast, too fast. He's like, I don't even know what you're saying. So then we had a song on there where I was literally like just talking like just, hey, how you doing? I'll say he's like, dude, I don't know what you're saying. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna take it off. But yes, or it's like I can take it to that level, but it's like, is it worth it for me or are the people going to enjoy it? You know what I mean? You always want to you always want to make sure you like take care of your supporters. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. And I wanted to ask, what lessons have you learned being in the industry that's like helped you to where you are now? That I guess like that you really took with you and you're like, okay, this is something that I need to take with me to get me through anything else that I go through.
Man, buy you a laptop. Buy you a lap for real. These people, these man, I'm trying to be. The industry will screw you over. They screw people over. They mess their brains up. Not all. There's a lot of good record labels out there, but yeah, they give you a whole bunch of money that's not your money, and then people waste it and they buy clothes and they buy gear and they do all this thing. They're paying for their own studio time. Learn how to do your own. Learn how to make your own beats, even if they're not the best. Learn how to make your own beats. Learn how to write your own rhymes, write your own hooks. Learn how to master your own stuff. Learn how to get a laptop. Learn how to record your vocals and get it out when you can, as fast as you can, because tomorrow ain't promised. So while you sitting there, you smoking that blunt for like 8 hours, trying to get that one little part of your rhyme right, you don't got to Dr. Dre it, man. If you got something, man, if you got your phone, get on your phone, record it. You know what I'm saying? And then like, if you want to get out there, get it out there. You can always like make a a cleaner version of it. But yeah, man, just live and be true and stop trying to follow everybody else, man, because you following people who don't even know. They don't even know what they want in life. They telling you what they don't like. They telling you what they don't like about you, but they can't tell you what they like about themselves. So be you, be true, you know what I'm saying? And just use your gut feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I want one question I ask, especially because of me being in like in the blurred community and everything like that. I'll talk about support in the community, whether it's like, general black community or blurred community. So particularly for the blurred community, because you're a part of it through like the nerdcore part of the space. What are some things that we do well to support each other so far? What can we do better to support each other?
Support each other. You know what I mean? Like why is it why do I have like 17 why do I have like 1300 followers and all they do is like my stuff and they don't want for me example, they don't want to work with me. You know what I mean? Not I mean everybody's got things and they go on in their lives, but like, dude, like if you're not taking the chance to like meet other people, don't talk the talk if you know what I mean? If you're not gonna do it. Like I'll see cats who are not blurs that they'll jump on their track and do stuff with, you know what I mean, for free. You know what I mean? But if you
Yeah.
or if I offer for me, I'm saying for me example, because everybody else is going through this too. Um, yeah, like we get like I reached out to you, you came back. I appreciate that. That's how we help each other out. You know what I mean? But if everybody wants to gatekeep, like we're not, we're not all, we're not balling like that. You know what I mean? We all probably 50%, 70% of the blurred community, we're all middle class or just maybe up there. You know what I mean? But either way it goes, it's like support each other, man. You know what I mean? Like I had a situation where somebody liked my song, right? They literally liked it. And then I reposted it and then they were like, oh, when did this come out? It came out the same time you liked it the first time, buddy. You know what I mean? And I think we still had that Jim Crow mentality where we just we still have inner hate for each other. Even though even though we won't show it, we don't want to. Especially, I can
Yeah.
speak for a lot of guys I've seen, like rappers, like they don't want to give anybody else props because they feel like they're gonna lose their shot. Instead of just saying, "Oh, that's dope," and then reposting this stuff. If it's really really dope, they don't want to repost it because they feel like they're losing something. But that's just something that's been ingrained in us anyway. You know what I mean? Your friend can't have you can give your friend a ride to work every day, but when he get a new car, now you mad at him. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
So it's like we just
Yeah.
gotta do better as people and help each other out because we're getting there, but you know what I mean? Just we gotta help each other out. We really do. Any little thing can support somebody, man.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and that's like interesting that you say that. I don't remember which video I was watching recently. It kind of ties into this where they were talking about like, or it could have been a friend that told me this, but they were just saying how yeah we still have that mentality of like, well, if we give like all our support or all of our like if we think somebody else is dope, but we may think they're doper than us. They're kind of just like maybe some people are like, okay, that's great. It's just an inspiration, which we're grateful for those people. But then some people are just like, well, they want to be like a billionaire or whatever level. So if I propel you further, I'm not going to. But and when you said that, on I said I was like, oh yeah, that okay, I get where this from.
It's true. These cats like I'm like I just I it goes back to like Grayson was said. Everybody gatekeeping something they don't even have. Like you know what I mean? It's 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 crazy. And then the other part with the blurs is, bro, work with some new people.
Yeah.
Stop doing the same pony dance. Yes, I know, and I'm a name drop. I don't know him personally. Bro, I don't even know if he's still making these. I don't know. Game Boy Jones and Cooper. Yes, that's fine. Work with them, but bro, it's other people out there you can work with that's waiting. They chomping at the bit. There's somebody that got skills you don't even know about because you want to have that feature with that main person that everybody knows. It's a diamond in the rough that's just sitting there. You know what I mean? That you won't even know about. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have got all them dope beats from Komplex if I didn't give them a chance. You know what I mean? Those beats are like very different and unique and phenomenal. It ain't like they're not regular beats. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say? Even vice versa. He said that about me. It's not like, you know what I mean? He could have just grabbed anybody that just said, yeah, I'm rapping some blah blah blah. It sounds like everything else. This is something unique. You know what I mean? It's like a piece of it's artwork. And like, you gotta like give other people a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's definitely true. And thanks for sharing that because it's definitely something to keep in mind. And I wanted to ask, what are some of the goals that you have for your music and origami you're doing going forward? Could be long term, short term, whatever you want to share.
I want it to be something where if you don't get it now, when you get older and you live more, you'll get it. And I want it to be timeless, and I want it to be something that people can appreciate. And I want it to make them laugh, but I want it to make them think. But I also want it to make them stronger and have some kind of will. And also just to let them know, like, dude, you can be the smallest dude in the fight, but you can still be the the strongest fighter. You know what I mean? So at this point, when I'm making music, it's not really about trying to get a whole bunch of like money and nothing like that. I just want to make sure my people are good because I'm saying stuff that nobody else is gonna say. Everybody's ready to jump on the mic and still do the rah rah. I'm a thug. I'm a gangster. I'm with your girl. All that. Nobody's saying what I'm saying, and I'm not even saying it like I'm bragging. I'm like, literally, there's nobody saying what I'm saying. If they do, it's like they contradict themselves. They're like, oh yeah, Black Power saved the world, and then the next minute, yeah, I'm smacking this bee around. You know what I mean? Or they say, okay, I'm God body, and then they'll go talk about something that you know what I mean that Allah wouldn't do or whatever. You know what I mean? Whoever they believe, they wouldn't do that. You know what I'm trying to say? But you're saying you're God, but you are not acting like God. You're not showing that. You know what I mean? So it's just like
Yeah.
we need more positive stuff, but we need dope positive stuff though. You know what I mean? Like we need great stuff that's it don't gotta be like overly like I don't know, it gotta be super edgy, but you just need good people that are dope enough to be good. You know what I mean? That can fit into the box of these hardcore artists because they not even getting they don't care what they say or what they do now. You know what I mean? So you gotta be strong enough to
Yeah.
be able to be in that circle.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense. And I know this is going to be a hard question because you have so much of your the song. I did can't speak English on the discography. Um, is there any particular because maybe songs would be too hard? Any particular album that's your favorite? Because I know you have so much music.
That's very hard.
Yeah.
That's very hard. I don't know why you would do that. Um, that's yeah, that's man. I would say my I don't know. It's too much. I would say at this point I have gosh, why would you do that? I,
I'm sorry.
then if I say the wrong one where I got features with people on there, then they go, like, how can you even say mine? So I like them all. I would say my two. I said my favorite song that I like out of all the songs I did is it's called oh my god, I see I forgot the name of it. It's called oh my god, it's called yeah, heavy cannon, heavy heavy, heavy
Yeah.
cannon. That's there's probably another word added to that, but yeah, it's late and I don't know, but yeah, that's probably my favorite song because I was going off on that song. That's my favorite song. I do like Gatlic Gun is my like everybody loves Gatlic Gun. Like everybody likes it. Like even my daughter was like, even my daughter and like they heard the whole album. They're like, oh, it's okay, because it's it's not Drake's not singing and it's not trapped out. They can't dance. My wife said, "We're gonna play your new album. We're driving to Chicago." It's like, oh, it's like it's a good album for people that get high. I'm like, all right, we're third song in. Okay, just turn it off. So then I played Gallagher and they're like, oh, this is dope. So yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. That's fair. And one of the last questions that I'll ask is when it comes to balancing life and everything, have you ever experienced burnout or what are things you do to prevent to get back into things creatively? Considering that, you have family, you have to work on top of doing this creatively. What are things that you do to try to get yourself back to the creative part to be able to make music and everything?
Man, I let it go. I'll be lazy. You know what I mean? I cry inside. I cry inside. But yeah, pretty much I just play video games. Literally. Like I put on wrestling. Like yeah. They always stay up like family always joke on me joke with me like, you're watching a bunch of dudes in underwear, you know? Isn't that a little suspect? You're watching dudes in underwear, you know? I wish they didn't wear underwear, but yeah, they beating each other up. That's the best part about it. But yeah, I put on WWE 2K4, play that, Gears of War or whatever. But yeah, that's how I want. But yeah, last year was traumatizing for me pretty bad because I had a lot of people that I lost. They died. You know what I mean? I lost a lot of people, and then oh man, it was like I was taking my meds at the wrong time of the day, so I was extra I was very sensitive. You know what I mean? Like so those meds had me tired, drowsy, sensitive. Somebody somebody saying hi to me. I'm like, why? Why? You know. So I got over that. I got my mojo back on that. But yeah, it's pretty much video game and at all above. Not trying to sound a cliche, but like I let God handle it all. I let God when I can't do it, I let God, Lord, just take the wheel. I'ma chill in the back, and then I always win after that. When I try to do it myself, it never works. When I let God do it and just chill, it just works out, and I win all the time. Even when I think I'm at the end of my rope and I feel defeated, I let it go, and then I just win that way. You know what I mean? So God would be the main. That's the how I get out a lot of stuff. So that's probably why I'm still a Christian now because like if I think with God, at least for my God, Jesus Christ, you have to try it. You can read 1,000 books and do all that unless you just say, dude, are you real? And talk like that. And then he would go, I'm gonna show you. And then he gonna say, you gonna find out. Cause guess what? The devil can't wait to show you he real. He can't wait. He'll set you up too quick. You be having a good day? Hey, how's everybody doing? Just send that little mean person over there. And I'm being discreet I'm being discreet because I know what other women would call other women, but I'm not gonna say that, you know. But you'll get a mean lady that comes over, because I'm a general manager at a shoe store, so we won't get into that. But yes, and you're just like, why is this happening right now? And they're like, oh, you set me up, ain't you, double? Like, wow, you got me. Then once I tell them the gig is up, and then everything changes. But yeah, so
Yeah, I definitely understand that, and that safe will take you far. I do believe that.
mhm, yeah, you got a lot of crazy stickers back there. What are those?
So some of them are support of other like
Oh,
where
that's dope.
businesses. Um, some of them are part of my business, so that's also that's also a part of it as well. And oh yeah, there was one other thing. I know that you mentioned Afro Fresh Culture that also came into the chat. Um, are you like affiliate for them? Do you support them in some way? Because like you did, and like you have it.
That is my sponsor. A fresh culture is my sponsor. The owner's name is Light Skin Tay because he's light skinned and his name is Tay. Yeah, but he's gonna. If I'm saying this correctly, he's now an alderman in North Chicago, Illinois. So big up to him. But yeah, that's my sponsor, and we've been rocking since day one. He actually he put me on his record label. So he had a record label called God Squad. So I got on there. Once that was done, I was like, "Yo, man, I need a sponsor." He's like, "Sure." And then we rocking it, yo. So it's it's still up and running. If y'all want to check some stuff out, man. Um, I think he's doing like special orders now too. I don't want to get all into his stuff and get stuff wrong, but yeah, that's my sponsor. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's awesome. And I guess it's definitely on brand with what you're doing for your music. So that's great. Because when I saw the content, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes definitely makes sense why you aligned yourself with somebody like that.
yeah, I,
Thank thank you so much for showing love. It was actually you actually caught it right before it ended, but I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you had a great time, and I wanted to give you a chance to tell people where to follow you, where you can catch your geese, and what may be coming next for you.
Everybody, just Google King Size the Vet or King Size the Veteran. I got stuff streaming, YouTube, all the other platforms, Bandcamp. Please hit me up on IG. I don't mind talking. Just don't stalk me and say any weird stuff. I don't know nothing about politics, so I could just don't ask me about politics because I will say the wrong thing to the wrong person and then they'll hate me
Yeah.
for life. So yeah. But yeah, but yeah, just I would not I'm probably not gonna make a full album on my own again for a while if it happens, but I am gonna do like a lot of features, doing beat tapes, me and Komplex, and then my other crew called Heavy Weapons. That's Nick Fury, Mr. FP, and then uh oh my god, Heavy Hands. See, I'm getting tired. Heavy Hands, and then we're gonna be doing like a lot of stuff in the future. I got a new song I'm gonna drop with my guy Ben Knight, and of course Light Skin Tay or Tay Lamar. I'm gonna do a song with him, and then yeah, just keep it going. Oh yeah, shout out on that. I'm sorry, one more thing. Uh, man, this person, all my guys, all y'all that check on me, man, on IG like every other day. I appreciate y'all, man. Like so,
Yeah.
yeah, and I just it's you got sometimes you gotta check on your people because you don't know what kind of day you have. All right, I'm done. I ain't trying to get off. I'm not trying to get off tranquil trim all tranquilical right now or whatever the word is.
You're good, but before we get up, just appreciate everybody showing support, coming on to the show, and I wouldn't be able to do the shows without you guys. And for those that don't know what I do outside of like these shows, it's part of my mission statement for my brand. But my brand is Anime Inkart Live Talks. Guys, absolutely, but some of the art in the background is mine. We're getting back to that. We did a rebrand. We had to give you the logo and everything. So I make, anime inspired, art. I didn't wear the shirt today, but you have prints, you have like stickers, some of them permission. I'm trying to do more outside of the price table blue in the future. But if you're ever interested in anything that I do for that, check the link tree in the bio. We have like if you want stuff out of show, or it's not custom, or whatever we have in our shop already, you're gonna be adding pictures we can. And sometimes you're gonna see me I do a lot of side quests, I guess. So you're gonna see me cosplay sometimes for the stuff that I draw, but that's in general. Now the podcasting, I guess I've taken that on, but that's just because like it's a way for me to support as many of you guys as possible. It's an easier way. And for those that want to learn more about the shows, we have open calls still. You can definitely in the next few months if you want to be on the show, feel free, DM me. I'll give you a form. We'll go from there. We were gonna be going live on Papu Asylum. They have an Enable magazine for Blurred. That'll be on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. EST. And yeah, just keep watching to see what happens because you never know what's gonna happen next. And I hope you have a good night, guys. And happy
Thank you, appreciate you. See y'all later. Uh